Good morning. We're going to do a video on multifamilies. We're going to start off by doing a run of the properties in this geographical area. This is what I'm doing right now. There's 508 properties in this geographical area. Now, if you're buying for investment and you're buying for long term and you want to be critical of what you're buying, I would recommend you don't buy in the flood zones. So we're going to take the flood zones out. Brings us down to 362 properties. Further, I would not buy the wooden structures or the mobile home structures, or at least you can buy them. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that in this study, let's go ahead and look at the block homes and the block buildings, and let's see what's out there. $219,000 in Zephyr Hills is our cheapest choice for a duplex, fenced-in yard. And this is the roughest one on the market that meets this criteria. It's $140 a square foot. These are a 3-1 and a 2-1. They're showing net annual income of $19,000. Annual expenses are $3,500. This has been on the market for 34 days. In Leesburg, we have 2 units, a 3-1 and a 2-1. They're generating $1,000 a month each, $24,000 a year. They don't show what the expenses are. This is $250,000. It's been on the market for 143 days. In Winter Haven, $279,000. This is 2 units. The net income is $22,000 a year. And they're saying the gross is $24,600 and the net. So they're saying there's only $2,600 a year in expenses. So these are both 2-1s. You know what they say, trust but verify. And in this case, I'm not sure if I would trust these numbers, but I tell you what, this doesn't look bad. I mean, we're talking about $172 a square foot. Here we have a Tampa property listed at $235 a square foot at $280,000. It's showing $18,000 a year in net income. There are 2 units, both 1-1s, rented out at $750 a square foot. Obviously, this is less attractive than any of the 3 we just watched. In St. Petersburg, $33,600 in annual income for $299,000, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. It's interesting, they're showing 2 different units, so I'm going to assume that those pictures aren't great, but we're going to assume that's just for one of those. And there's the other one for sale at $299. So you can buy both of those. They're right next to each other. In Tampa, $299,000, $26,000 in net income. They're both 2 bedrooms, 1 bathrooms, rented out at $1,400 a month. And they've been recently upgraded, $299,000. And these are block homes, not in a flood zone. St. Pete, $299,000. Block home, non-flood zone. And they're not showing any rental income because it is vacant. No, they're saying $36,000 a year in net income. I don't know that they know the difference between net income and gross income. $299,900. Net income allegedly $28,800 is $1,200 a month. So they're showing no expenses, and obviously that doesn't include taxes and insurance. So Winter Haven, just under $300,000, a duplex. Fort Meade in Polk County, $300,000. It's saying annual income is $14,400. Bradenton, annual income $36,000. They're both 2-1s for $309,000. Lakeland, $309,000. $1,400 for 2 different units, 2-bedroom, one bathroom units. Hillsborough County, $310,000. Two bedroom, one bathroom. Expected rent $1,300. Annual income $14,000. Tampa, $310,000. $57,600. I don't think that's correct. So we basically cannot trust these numbers. Net income is after taxes and insurance, and if there's any other fees, HOA fees. This is in Auburndale in Polk County, $327,000. It's a 4-2 and a 2-1, $3,000 in rent on one side, $850 on the other. And you buy that and rent out this $3,000 side, live in the 2-1 for $850 a month. But you don't live in a duplex, or maybe you do. Lakeland, $330,000. All right, so what we've done here is we've seen duplexes at the low end. Let's look at the triplexes. There's 33 triplexes, $340,000 in Winter Haven. Says the annual income's $36,000. They should have. Okay, now this one, it looks right. Okay, $33,600 in gross. Let's call it $29,800 in net. So they're suggesting that you can get taxes insurance for the difference, and we know you can't. So anyway, $1,100, $850. This is in Sumter County. $395,000 in Lakeland for 3 units. $439,000. Allegedly $42,000 in gross income, $39,000 in net income. Winter Haven, $450,000. St. Pete, $450,000. $469,000 in Clearwater. Auburndale, $485,000. $495,000 in Tarpon. Tarpon's a great address. Clearwater, $499,000. All right, let's jump into the quads. There are 15 4-unit complexes. $435,000 is the cheapest. It's $130 a square foot. Tampa, saying $75,000 in net income. I like it, but I don't believe it. Well, big rent. Look at that, $2,000, $1,800, $1,500, $1,000. You know, maybe comparing this to a duplex, you get 2 duplexes, $225,000 each. Actually, this may very well be a solid opportunity. Although I don't see how they've gotten 4 units in here. There's a story, and we don't know what it is. Bradenton, 4 units, 3 1-bedroom, 1 baths, and 1 2-bedroom, 1 bath. $202 for the list price per square foot. Clearwater, $599,000. Okay, let's now go back and put them all in, and let's go ahead and look at the pendings, because you can't look at the market without looking at the solds. Is what the market is. It's not the pendings, and it's certainly not the actives, and it's certainly not Zillow. This is the market right here. 40 properties have gone under contract in the last 30 days. 23 properties have gone under contract in the last 15 days. 7 days, we have 7 properties that have gone under contract. Let's take a look at these. $399,000 was on the market for 11 days. $430,000 on the market in 56 days. $453,000 on the market for 21 days. Ocala, that's nice looking, listed at $204 a square foot, went under contract in 77 days. And we don't know what the contract price is. We just know this is 4 units, went under contract in 12 days for $715,000. Okay, so now we're going to look at the last one. This is just the 7-day solds. St. Petersburg, $879,000. Price below the market, reduced and won't last. Price to sell. Executive office, 3,003 great rental units, generating $7,250 a month. Central Avenue. That's a very well-known address in St. Pete. This is downtown St. Pete. Okay, now how do you analyze the market? You don't analyze the market by looking at the actives or the pendings. You analyze the market by looking at the solds. And what we see here, there have been 189 properties in this criteria in the last 6 months. In the last 30 days, 28 properties have transactioned. Here's where we're going to get the real numbers. This was $200,000. It sold for $40,000 less than the asking price in 91 days. $175,000 sold over the asking price in 5 days. And if you watch my videos, you'll see all the good stuff sells in 5 or 10 days, and oftentimes it's over the asking price. Now, this one, $215,000, sold for $185,000 in 353 days, avoiding its 1-year anniversary. $270,000 sold for $190,000 in -7 days. Now, I don't know what -7 days means, but that's got to be a typo, and that's just amazing. $270 sold for $190. Sold price $226. So this is actually pretty small, but it's still intriguing that it sold for $80,000 less than the asking price. Leesburg, asking $299, sold for $275 in 132 days. $299 sold for $275 in 132 days. Oh, I think that was the matching one to the other one. $299 sold for full price in 34 days. Homosassa. See, the problem with this is you're not going to want to be in this giant 7-county area. You're going to be or maybe you will. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're just purely buying yield, ROI, and that's great if you are, because we can make offers on everything. We don't have to look at anything until we go under contract. Willow Oak and Mulberry, $324,000, sold for $300,000 in 29 days. $319,000 sold for $308,000 in 4 days. That is very unusual. So the value here is not these numbers. The value here is in how do you do this? How do you make these decisions? How do you analyze the market? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this up. So what we've seen here is we've looked at basically all the solds in the low end. I'm going to take duplexes out. There's only been 2 triplexes or quadplexes sold in the last 30 days. So let's go up to 75 days on the triplexes, the quads, and the 5s, and see what it looks like here. Polk County, 350 sold for $242. Ole mole. But it's not attractive. It's not very big. It was only priced for 24 days. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 2 1-bedroom, 1 bathrooms, and 2 2-bedroom, 1 bathrooms. I don't know how they jammed all that in there. It appears that it's 2,000 square feet. That's how they did it. It looks like it's just a converted house. Bradenton, $359,000, sold for $295,000 in 9 days. Somebody got a deal. What's the list price per square foot? Or excuse me, sold price per square foot, $140 a square foot. Here we have a triplex, $399, sold for $360. $480,000 sold for $421. $569 sold for $498. $595 sold for $532. $699 sold for $600. $599 sold for over the asking price in 16 days. $649 sold for $625. $750 sold for $700. $699 sold for over the asking price in 1 day. And this is only 1 unit. I don't get it. All right, so what's the point? The point is, in my opinion, you want to buy large, solid, if you can get garages, if you get 2 bedrooms, and no flood zones, no frame houses. So the question then becomes, what's the best deal in the market? And we're still in, let me go ahead and add the duplexes back. There's 181 properties. Let me add the 5 or more's, 217,000. 217 listings. All right, how do we compare apples to apples? Let's look at list price per square foot. Now, we know we saw some sell at below $140 a square foot, and none are available there. $150 a square foot, we have 7 properties. So based on square footage, these are the best deals in the marketplace. $219,000. I think that was the cheapest duplex in the market. $250,000 in Leesburg. $300,000. $130 a square foot. Lakeland in Polk County, $136 a square foot. Mulberry, $130 a square foot. This is a 3,300 square foot building. $35,000 a year in net income. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 4 units at 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. And based on those numbers, 265 days on the market. I mean, we can make an offer on this. You just never know. It boils down to seller motivation, and we don't know the seller's motivations until you go to the closing table and you say, why did you take such a low number? And you find out, because there is a story and they're not telling us. And with the loyalty that the listing agent has, they're not going to tell us either. So here's 5 units, $494,000, 3,700 square feet, 11211111, and an efficiency. Great income property, unlimited possibilities, love in 1 unit, rent the others out. I'm sure there's a joke in there, but I'm not going to try to tell it. What I am going to do is put my contact information up here and invite you to reach out to me if you like my videos, if you want to talk more about it. If you have a particular market and you want to do an analysis of that market, I want to only be in Pinellas County, or I only want to be in Pasco County, call me up. And if I don't do a video for you personally, I'll jump on a Zoom call and we can do an interactive analysis of the market. We can, frankly, to get the best deal, you have to make offers, and you can't make one offer and hope to get one house. The best I've ever done is made 9 offers to get one house. So actually, you can make one offer and get one house. But if you're an investor, you want the best deal, and the only way to get the best deal is to make offers and to put a lower criteria in there. Anyway, Florida Real Estate Partners. I'm also at American Mortgage Services. If you have properties that you need to refinance, reach out to me. We're doing a lot of DSCR loans. You can get 80% loan to value. We don't have to prove your income. You don't have to provide your tax returns. You do have to have a good enough credit score to borrow the money. I do have some other products where you don't even have to put in your tax return or your credit. We can do it in a LLC. They lend purely based on the rental income. It's not even the rental income you receive. They assign a rental income, and that is what they'll lend you on. If you're getting more than that, good for you, but they won't lend you on what you're renting. If you're getting less, if the program says that you should be getting $2,200 a month and you're only getting $2,000, they'll lend you on the higher amount. And obviously, the less paperwork you put in, the more you're going to pay on rate. So to get the best deals, you fully documented loans are going to give you the best deal, but sometimes there's a reason why you don't want to do that. Anyway, this is my multifamily video for June 2nd. And I appreciate you watching. I wish you the best. Bye now.